Hello. Hey, the microphone works. Hello, everybody. I guess maybe I should confirm that with the actual audience, but it appears to be working on here for the first time in 3 days. So, thanks everybody for checking out today's broadcast. Today is day 83 of my challenge to get my health and weight under control. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear about them. If you have any scale victories, love to hear about those as well. If you have any struggles with your diet, let us know. If you found any tricks or tips to help with your dieting, we'd love to hear that as well. I already have the camera actually up here. And this thing at the top that says 399.4, that was what I weighed earlier. I'm not sure what the scale is going to say here. So definitely under 400, which is awesome. But I did what I was talking about the other day, and I'm realizing that that's going to cover my butt up. So let me move the scale over to here. And I am going to go weigh on here. There might be like a slight delay, but it's crackling. Maybe that'll help. I'm kind of loud too. I can maybe turn myself down just a touch, but overall, hopefully those things. What about that? Is that better audio wise? I'm not hitting the top line. Let me do this weigh in and we'll see what we're doing. If it's still crackly, I can unplug it. Hold on. I don't know. Every time it just keeps getting lower here. Did the screen go fuzzy? What happened? Oh no! The screen went fuzzy. This is 498. I'll do it again. My low battery thing came up because I have my phone sitting there for a minute. Hold on, let me try it again. All right, that's what 98.8. 98.8. That's going to be my official. So I had weighed in where I normally have the scale, and then can you not see it? It's 398.8. So where I had it, I weighed in like an hour ago, and I was the 399.4, and then I moved the stuff I needed to move around and got it set up. It's not perfect, but it's there. So yeah, that's awesome. So that's 1.2 down. I'm officially into the 300s. I'm no longer in the 400s, which is awesome. Officially over 120 pounds lost too, which is really just great. It's so good to be going the right direction. I know it feels like the weight's been going slow, but it's really not been. Like if I were to go back 10 days ago and see where I was, I mean, yeah, I guess it's been about 5 pounds in the last 10 days. So it's a little bit tough these last 5 pounds. But the scale keeps going down. And so I'm definitely happy with that. I am definitely eating more volume. All right, I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in. See if it helps. I'm gonna mute it. You guys don't have to listen to me do this. Hold on. Is that any better? I'm not sure. If it continues to be a problem, maybe I won't be able to do as long a stream as I hope. But let me monitor it. I can hold on. I can listen to it here. I just have to go to my mic and go. Yeah, it's on. Hello, hello. Okay. Oh, I can't hit that with that. So let me see if I can hear any crackly. I do kind of, now that you say, or now that I'm talking a little bit. It might just be me talking too loud. Sounds real echoey too. Yeah, I hear the crackle when I hit. Let me think of what I can do. You can still hear it. It's just annoying in your AirPods. I bet. Yeah, I can hear it popping in my ear too. I turn that down. That does that make a difference? No, it's and my camera keeps changing the focus. All right. Blah, blah, blah. See if this audio is any better. Try this. So just all kinds of problems. I don't know. I have a microphone on the headset here. Let's see if it'll work. Hold on. I don't know. I don't have. I don't have this set up as a. I don't have that. Um. All right. Well. Yeah. I hope I can figure it out. I wish I could figure this out and make it all better, but it is not. Let me try unplugging it on this end. One more. Okay, let's see. Well, that thing is done doing what it's gonna do, and I'm not hearing popping yet. So maybe that fixed what I needed to fix. It's still a bit echoey, but I think that is just how it sounds. So I can close that out. 398.8. All right, let me update that on the top here. I think if the crackling comes back, let me know, but I'm not hearing it with the headsets on now. So unplugging it from that end might have helped. So uh let's see, day 83 of my challenge. I hope you guys are doing great on your diets. I've been doing really good on mine. It has been uh, it's something where I've found a lot of foods that I'm happy with right now, and I don't mind eating a lot of those so far. uh you know it, there's also a large variety of food, which has been nice too. Because in the past, when I have done restrictive diets and lost, I really found that I was kind of relying on specific diet, like that. I talked about it a little bit, but the when I lost 100 pounds 8 years ago, I mean, there was one protein I was eating, like the sausage link, that it was like a kielbasa, like this thing, like a U shape in the package. Um, that I probably had that for dinner 5 to 7 nights a week, and so by the time you do that for 9 months, you're just wiped out. And so it's been nice that there's such a variety, and there's really, in any diet that you choose to do, there is a huge resource on platforms like YouTube here for all kinds of um, meal ideas or ways to do, to make your diet successful. And one of the things that I've talked about a lot, and I'm going to continue to harp on, is also that you have to make the diet that you're choosing. You have to make it better, easier to choose to eat that way than to go back to the other ways. So that means having plans, having a snack in your car for an emergency, so that if you do get some sort of hunger or feel that you're not feeling well and that eating would help you, that you have an option that is not going fast food or getting something that is highly processed food. And then Carrie just actually mentioned that she's making a new recipe tonight. It is a yellow corn chowder. So that is, like I said, been great having the resources to have a lot of, options out there to cook. Um, it is still different, trying to figure out how to cook with some of these ingredients, and I still don't um, fully understand a lot of the beans and the chickpeas and how to prepare and cook any of that stuff. So um, definitely something that uh, is nice to have there, though. As far like I said, I could live off of a few things right now that I'm happy with. I mean, cans of corn, I just eat them by the can. We've been having this Ezekiel bread with peanut butter. That's another kind of staple. The shredded wheat with soy milk. So, I mean, I have a few things that in a pinch, they're easy for me to go to. And I have a lot of those things at work now. So that, like I said, going to get something from fast food or a convenience store is less of a need or an option. And at the very least, I have carrots. Like I said, if you're hungry enough to eat junk food, then you should be hungry enough that carrots should sustain you. So I do grab a few carrots every now and then. Bolt here says that he watched that Cooking with the Crocs video that I posted. The cheap dried fruits and the one ingredient ones look good. Yeah, and that's another thing I haven't met. It's is it dehydrated? I think it's dehydrated mango slices. Um, we had gotten them. So Cooking with the Crocs is they have a lot of whole food plant based stuff, and then Well Your World, uh, that guy whose name starts with they have lots of resource videos about where to go and buy things, and they had a Trader Joe's video that we had watched, and he had mentioned the mango, like the dehydrated mango slices, and I got those, and they were great. I mean, that was definitely a great snack. Yeah, his name is Dylan. And so then uh, we also found them at Target. Maybe Target had a bunch of stuff, and I was surprised. Like they had a specific brand that seemed to have a lot of the raw nuts, the raw or the dehydrated mango, and there was a few other things as well. But yeah, carrot chips would be interesting to try those. We actually have an air fryer, and I had made some bananas that I dehydrated in the air fryer that initially they were seen as a fail because they did not look like bananas you'd want to eat. But after giving them a try, because it does take 6 hours to dehydrate something and the effort put into it, it was actually very enjoyable. They were kind of like little banana gummy bears. Yes, and then Carrie actually, so Bolt mentioned that he needed carrot chips, and then I did see that there was some pretty sad looking carrot and green beans on our counter last night, and that would be because Carrie tried to make them in our tried making carrot chips and green beans in our air fryer, and it did not work. And then she said something about cookie. I think cooking them right. Cooking them longer and lower temperature would have made it better. She tried cooking them too high at temperature. That's what made them turn out so poorly. Um so yeah, I've been continuing my education with my diet, and that has been listening to the Eat for Life book by Dr. Furman. Uh, just kind of like I said, a lot of echoing of the previous book that I had listened to, the Pleasure Trap. The focus, it's interesting that so the Pleasure Trap, their big hey, this diet's going to help you if was blood issues, if you have cardiac issues and things like that. And it's kind of like their studies that, or the research that they found has shown that their diet really helps with those things. And then the Dr. Furman, what he's talking a lot about is the cancer reducing properties of eating whole foods. And so that's been a large focus of the first part of this book. Um, a lot of what it talks about is stuff too that, like, I feel like in my head I knew maybe, but just kind of sort of like when you got a little bit of dirt in the corner of the room, or you got like a cup on the table the first time you leave it, and not clean it up, then you just leave it there. And I feel like some of this information's that way. Like the first time I heard it, I probably was like, oh yeah, and then I never processed it again. But it's talking about white flowers and how they always talk about the fiber being ripped out, or them not having the fiber they are supposed to have. And then I suppose people talk about, then you just supplement fiber, but it's not just the fiber that they remove from these grains when they turn them into white breads or white rices. There's a lot of nutrients that get removed as well. And I guess it's logical when you think about it, but at the same time, like when they say the fiber's removed, then you just say, okay, so the roughage is removed, but they don't say that the zinc and all kinds. I guess they in the book they refer to them as phytonutrients, which phyto is just means plant, and so it's plant nutrients. But there's thousands and thousands of nutrients in each of those things that are getting ripped out. And um so then, yeah, and then the other thing that early on the book, it has kind of uh I've talked to Carrie about it a couple times, is he definitely references the diet that you feed your kids, and it being um important to not feed your kids what the standard American diet or the modern American diet. And so that's kind of really it's like I would love to have my kids eating that way. And we've been transitioning things. They eat the fruit smoothie like I had in the morning. I think almost all of my kids had smoothies this morning with no added sugar to it. Um, and so there's little things, but we're not going to push it. And it's uh, it's got to be slow, I think. Um, Part of it will be not having those options around the house. Like I talked to Carrie with the white bread, uh, is, you know, wheat bread may not be great, but it's better than white bread. And if it's the only bread they have to choose from, then if they have the option for white bread, they're always going to choose it. And so if you remove that option, then they'll either choose to eat something different than bread, or they'll choose to eat the bread that's available. Um, and that's kind of the same. It's not just with kids; it's with us. It's with what's in your pantry. If you have breads and things in your pantry that aren't on your diet, and um, you're gonna turn to them at some point. And I've talked about it in the past too. The psychological battle that you go, like, you fight yourself about food that's in your pantry, that if it wasn't in your pantry you wouldn't have that fight. Even if you win the fight and you don't go and eat the food that's bad in the pantry, just the fact that you had to have the battle is so and Jen just checked in here, said congrats on the weight loss. Thanks, Jen. And Carrie is telling me that she does not have an alternate meal, but the kids will have salt available for theirs. Yeah, and it's a chowder. I'm sure we have saltine crackers as well, so that also helps with a lot of that. But a corn chowder should be fairly sweet too, with the corn, right? So I'm excited to try it. Um, and so yeah, just like I said, I'm continuing with learning more about a whole food plant based diet. It definitely, I mean, I literally had a conversation with my brother a week before because uh, my one brother switched to a plant based diet over a year ago now and had kind of been uh, picking about, how it's helped him or how much he's liked with it. And, even like I said, a week before going into this, um, he kind of hit me up about it again. And I was like, yeah, maybe what, I don't know. And then, uh, so even as recent as the 83 days ago, I was not planning on being on this diet and or eating this way. And so I'm really trying to learn as much as I can so I can be educated about it. And also, it helps kind of keep my motivation towards doing it. And Jen, actually, you see the weight there. That is not the right weight for today. I need to update that because I had uh let me update that. What was it? 398.8. Yeah. So I had a whole thing with the thing. You would have had to have been here. But yeah, 39.8. So it was 1.2 down. Let's see, we got a couple things here. Jen made a comment about seeing the recipe. Jennifer, if the recipe is good, you will see it on our Discord, which the link is down below if you want to join the Discord. Harry shared some recipes. Bolt has shared some of his recipes. I know he had a salmon that he really enjoyed, a recipe that he really enjoyed. Um, and then Jen talks about here that she didn't eat much meat for about 30 years. You did eat the eggs and the dairy. But yeah, and it's not just the meats. A lot of the big part of it is processed foods. But what I kind of have been, I don't know, with the meats, I feel like um and they talk about a little bit with digestive and some of my old diets, but I think that maybe we're not supposed to be on a combination. I think maybe we're supposed to only be eating vegetables predominantly when there's vegetables around, or if you live in a climate that always has vegetation, then you would always eat that. But then if you lived in a climate like what's behind me here, without trees and houses in the background, if this was all woods, um, and you didn't have the vegetation to eat, then you would turn to meat, but you wouldn't be uh, necessarily, like I said, if you had the vegetation, you would have eaten it before you would have gone after the meat, and so you wouldn't really have the stuff to put with your meat either, and so you would just be eating. Um, and then you said you made a taco soup with some stuffed peppers, and they're both really good. And then your husband just doesn't understand when you have a meal with no meat in it. I didn't understand. 2 months ago, I couldn't fathom. I get two, three different meat. I get every meat that the fast food place would offer sometimes. I mean, the worst for me right before the end here was Sonic. Like, because they just have a variety, I mean, just an insane variety of food. The menu is just so. Anyways, enough about that. But yes, I don't know. I couldn't fathom not eating meat. And now, and Carrie talked about it while I was fasting, because she had switched over and she was, I don't even care that I'm not eating. I haven't even thought about meat. And you don't. You think about the salts, you think about the oils, you think about the sugars. You don't think about the ground beefs or the steaks. Eating a steak, if you just gave me a steak, threw it on a pan and cooked it, it doesn't sound that great. But you throw, a nice little couple slabs of butter, some garlic, and let that fry for a little bit, then yeah, then you're starting to, and so I don't know that it would be the steak or the meat that I missed. It'd be the butter I miss. It's the salt that I put on it that I miss. It's the seasoning, it's the rubs. Um, and so, and a lot of those things we can put on the vegetables and still get those flavors because there are whole natural foods incorporated in those flavors. And so, um, and then Bolt said, "Don't you think if we had the choice, we would eat fruit and meat if possible before we would have eaten vegetables?" No, I think we would have gone for the easiest thing possible. I think that if it's between eating a vegetable that's right next to me or eating grass that is, well, would have at like romaine lettuces or oh, there was a term like for like sprouts or something, but it's not the word, but um, right. If you have a choice, if somebody puts a platter out in front of you and says, "Would you like fruit, meat, or vegetables?" Then I'm picking fruit and meat and then vegetables. But if somebody says you can either grab that plant off the ground, or you can climb that tree for an apple, or you can hunt a rabbit for that meat, I'm just going to reach down to the grass and eat the ground in front of me. And so that's what it's not just the choice. It's the effort. Like right now we just have the choice, and that's what got us or me to where I was. And I had the choice. I had the choice to go to Sonic, order a double cheeseburger, order a pork tenderloin, order a large order of tater tot cheese fries, order a large order of jalapeno bites. Those are what I'm choosing to eat if I get to choose to eat. But if we were in a society where we had, or a time where we had to actually work for our food, then I'm going to do the least amount of work. And then if I get a little hungrier, then I go to the fruits or I grab the fruits that are low hanging. And then when I run out of what I've stored or scavenged and I get really hungry, I'll just eat whatever. And then that's when you go out and probably eat a frozen dead animal. You probably aren't. I don't know that I'm not beating many animals in hand to hand without a trap, And so a lot of times, if let's say it's February 15th, 25,000 years ago, and I'm where I'm at now, if I'm really hungry, then there's probably some dead animals out there that ran out of food and they've been frozen for a month. So it's still viable, edible food, really, unless another scavenger got to it. But that's, like I said, and that's just some dumb opinion that some random dude has that's got a microphone in front of his face. So that might not be the case at all. But I guess that's just what I was saying, that we're going to go with the easiest option. We're in a society where all options have now become the easiest option. So I'm choosing to go back and only eat foods that were options back then. That makes any sense with all that rambling, I feel like. But um I'm excited for the weekend. I don't know if we're gonna get snow. It would suck if we did, but we have been having some nicer temperatures, so things have thawed out a bit. But there's still a lot of snow out, so it's tough to do much outside. It's been so cold. Phone's all the way over there because I didn't grab it since then. But if you haven't followed my Instagram, check it out. It is at Fasting. That's FAHSTING. I will probably do an update photo now that I'm officially under 400. I put an Instagram photo up when I was at like 403 because that was at the, let me think how that, yeah. The 403 was what I weighed at the 77. I don't know. I thought it was my 10-week update. It was 403. But anyways, I'll probably do an update photo on Instagram. I've been putting stuff on the Discord, just like the weigh-in the other day that I had to miss on Wednesday because the internet sucked. So if you get on the Discord, links below. hit the subscribe button. It's really unfortunate. I think that one of my subscribers must have passed away because I went from 194 down to 193. And I don't think anybody would unsubscribe from me. So they must have died. So my condolences to them and their family. But other than that, Bolt says people literally eat your old raw meat and the bacteria that grow in it because it's good for their digestion. So yeah, it wouldn't have to be frozen. Sure. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, you would have grabbed an easy kill or tried to scare a predator away from a kill and then take it before he came back. So um, I'm not a dork. Anyways, I'm going to go, guys. You guys all have a great day. Hit that subscribe button, like it, share it, let everybody know that I exist. All right. Everybody have a great day.